Okay, filming another one, and it's been a while since I did one. Thanks for everyone who watched them. It was got way more views on those gel plates than I have done on anything else that I've posted on YouTube, so that's very much appreciated, and pretty much what is motivating me doing this one. Okay, so this is a recent one that I've done. That's the line drawing for the template. That's it, obviously cut out onto Mylar. I stick it down onto the gel plate first and sort of work in reverse. Okay. Right, so we'll see how this goes. Usually when I film them, it's a curse. They never turn out that well, but let's hope I can make a difference with this one. Right, so with this one at the moment, I don't know whether you're picking that up, but I think, yeah, you're picking that up pretty well on there. These gaps are obviously that's the contact for the paint. They're the darker areas, and yeah, so the reason that I'm pausing there is that I'm thinking I might use a bit of gold in. I've just recently got a hold of these, which I'm not in the, I don't know if you can see that, I'm not going to advertise them for too long. These are way better. You get what you pay for. The viscosity, you'll see, if I use any of these, the bigger bottles, then you can just see it in the viscosity. As soon as you roll it out, it's like the difference between tracing paper and cartridge paper or watercolour paper. Okay, so we'll avoid that then, I think, rather than go for experiments and whatnot. So this is phthalo green. Sorry, I'll stop. I can try to avoid banging my head on the camera, but it is going to happen. You might get disturbing shots of the crown of my head. I apologise in advance. I even cleaned my brayer for this. Consider yourself lucky. Try to avoid that bit because it's the mouth. As I've done more and more prints, the Mylar doesn't fit so neatly together as it does at the beginning. It's taking on board some of the moisture, very small amounts, because obviously it's plastic itself, but it's warping it slightly, or something's happening to it. When I clean it off with a palette knife, I might be pushing and pulling at it, but anyway, it doesn't fit together so well. But you can use that to your advantage. You get these interesting tracer effects that would otherwise not appear if it was all flush. So there'll be a lot of hair drying with this, I'm afraid, because I'm going to try and fit it all into 2 half-hour. There might be like a 5-minute video of it at the end as I do the reveal on it, because doing it this way, I leave it for a long time to dry. Like anything up to 3 to 4 hours, I leave them to dry. The paint has got to be, I would say 95% dry, and then it's nearly always a clean pull from the plate. You get debris on the side, like the framing, that seems to be a regular occurrence there, but by and large, if you leave it for long enough, it pulls clean from the plate, and you get the depth of the paint then, which, that's what I'm looking for at the moment. I think that'll probably change as I start using more and more tactile surfaces in it. At the moment I'm not really using that, and I know that's going to bring its own trials, but I know the long term is there. If you don't try these things on, you won't augment what you are. Yeah, so looks a bit darker on what you're looking at than what I'm looking at. But it doesn't seem to be reflecting too much off the wet paint, which is an added advantage for you. It's nearly done. Yeah, I've been kind of overwhelmed with the response that I've had from the Facebook page. Normally I fall prey to their algorithms, but it seems to bypass the algorithm bit a bit. Don't get half the response, not even a quarter of the response from posts on my profile page and my fan page on Facebook, which just seems to be completely governed by algorithms now. Unless you want to have an argument with someone, Facebook isn't the media. I digress. But it would appear that, well, I'm wrong about that anyway, because it's been a pleasant revelation, which aren't two words that you hear too often about Facebook. Right, so that is ultramarine. It's still a little bit album going. Very important to get the nostril in that. Some of these areas down here. Right, same as again with the last one. I don't know whether you saw the last video, but I found you've got to operate when you're doing it like this, where you're taking the template stencil out from it. You've got to do it while the paint's wet. And the more detailed it gets, the bigger the problems become when it dries out. You don't get the crispness of the edges. That's not the bit that I was looking for. That's the bit I was looking for. A pair of tweezers definitely comes in handy. So you get a nice clean edge when it's wet. If that's what you're looking for, sometimes it's not. Okay, I'm going to use the hairdryer on that for a bit, so I don't know whether you want to hit mute. 3, 2, 1. One thing you will notice is that I've now started putting them on to perspex, and the reason is you can do that. It also means that you can register your plate, which is a big deal for me because I have at the moment I'm putting these up and just putting them up for sale at cheap prices. But so if you want one, yeah, drop me a line, either comments below, or you can follow the links to my Facebook or Instagram page and on my website, and email me or message me through their services. They're only 40 quid each, dirt cheap. Anyway, enough of the promotion. The reason, yeah, I want to go on to do, I have things that I know I want to do with these, because my intention is to converge this in with drawings and paintings from the same line drawing, which I've got. I know how to do that. And it's important that I have a register for that. And my biggest concern now is that keeping it square, but I think that can be done with guide rails of some description. Luckily I've got a very clever engineering brother whose brain I will be picking on this in the not too distant future. Right, okay, that's the first bit done. So you can see. Let's have another look at it. It's really handy to be able to do that. So I think we'll go in with a bit of highlight action there. Highlight action. Match of the day. Right. I don't like wasting paint, so I'm really pushing it. I've got another bottle of it. Problem with little bottles is you get a lot of surface retention as you run out the colour. Which is kind of the motivation for the roller landscapes that I've been posting recently. Get a couple and show you. Because I cannot abide the waste of paint, so while we're waiting for that to dry, that's one. That's another one. I think the colour that I'm going to go in behind that with, because that's quite, the tone of that I find quite, it's not dark, but I could certainly go lighter, so, but I want to contradict it as well, so I'm going to use this lavender pale violet over the top of it. I'm going to give that a quick dry. 3, 2, 1 again, there you go, noise. Again, the same applies. This is going to be wet now. That's the time to take advantage of it. So, what I will do. I think we'll put this swig of tea. Yeah, so it's just a standard bit of perspex for that, but it is a really handy bit of kit for that sort of thing. Oh, it goes quite well with that orange, doesn't it? That's what you get with the golden paints that you don't get with the cheaper Arteza ones. Is again, it's the viscosity, the much deeper, or it seems to be. I mean, they're more expensive paints as well, and golden are pretty much, from what I'm not that knowledgeable about paints, but from what I understand of things, they're like second only to Liquitex, so they're pretty much professional range, which is why you pay what you do for them, but you get what you pay for, without a doubt. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in a bit of this Indian yellow here at the top, slightly darker tone, and I'll put cadmium yellow medium down at the bottom. And then when I take this part out and that's still left in there, the stencil, I'm going to darken that up. You'll see what I mean. Will do. That might take a little while. It's probably going to need a bit of hair dry treatment. I'll turn it over again. It's such an advantage to be able to do this. Shows the sticking power of these things. Look at that. I find that quite impressive. There are people charging you 35 quid for a piece of perspex out there. I'm not going to advertise for them, but you can do it. This piece of perspex was used as packing, so I didn't even pay for it, but it seems to be fine to me. I've used it several times now. Keep meaning to do it with a smaller square that I've got as well. Okay, I'm going to use the hairdryer again, so bear with me, apologies for the noise again. Right, let's have a look at how strong these colours are. They're pretty strong. I think what I'm going to do is use a bit of cerulean blue to lock that down. Because my intention is to use a very warm orange red or deep red when I lift that part of the stencil out. It sort of gives the lips and the body a lot of mouth, obviously, if I give them a warmer colour. You might notice that as a theme on the others. And the reason that I say that is I can use this in contradiction then with it, and it'll will have a higher contrast because it's got a sitting background colour that is a lot colder than the one it's next to. Right. Yeah, and there's bits that need to be taken out now because it's still wet. Always putting my tweezers somewhere where I don't know where to, oh no they are. Right, I know what I'm going to do now. It's the NASA. And that's why you do it wet. That came out lovely and clean. Quite a simple template, this one. Yeah, that orange could pay off quite heavily with the next bit. We shall see. I'm quite pleased with how the eyes are gone. I think I know what I'm going to do there, and I'm saving a colour for that. Okay, I'm going to put the hairdryer on it again, I'm afraid. Now I'm going to use a bit of this violet oxide just in the nose and the bridge a bit. Too wild with that. Got a lot of density, this colour. Real opaque colour. Kind of like a burnt sienna, but a bit more tone to it. Okay, give you another look at it. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Right, then I'll fix that down. As it's quite dark, I might go in with just a smash of yellow over the top of that. Hairdryer again, I'm afraid. Getting the top of my head again, I'm sorry about that. Used to be a fan of the yellow as a colour, and I tend to find that I only notice my prejudices about colour, and this is not, especially in today's political climate, I'm literally talking about painting here, when I basically, when I start running out of the colours that I'm used to using, and once I start using colours that I would prefer not to if I've got, the choice, suddenly you start realising the capacity of the colour that I like that being forced into the corner. Which sounds sort of sadomasochistic. There's some elements of that to it, but it definitely pushes you. Right. Okay, I think move quickly on this. Right, so obviously some bits of it what I was saying about pieces getting at it before it's dry. Obviously that's not going to happen every time, and when that doesn't, this is as yet the best way I've come up with dealing with the details aspect of it, is to trace round with a palette knife underneath it. And the wetter it is, obviously the less you have to do this, but my ambidexterity definitely pays dividends with this kind of thing. I can just happily switch hands like that. Right, there we go. I'm going to lift this bit out here. This is always the most technically pain in the rear bit. Especially when you cut through the mylar, Josh, on the reverse side. Come here, I'm not having that. Clip it round. There we go. Free that. Okay. Have another check at that. That's going to be interesting when I put an overlay colour on it. Right, it's going to have to be de-red, which I'm more than happy to do. See, it's well with this. We'll do a bit like that, and then a little bit of, this is quinacridone crimson. Guess what I got in English? That was probably a little overzealous with that. Heavy red bias on this painting. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that, like that. Now I've just noticed something. Right, I'm going to take another bit of pick in this. Find exactly where it is as well, which is easier said than done. This is mildly wet. Okay, I'm coming up to the half-hour mark here, so it's going to cut out. I'll give you another quick look on the reverse side before it does that. I'll carry on and it'll go into the next video. And yeah, probably won't be. I'm getting close to, there's only one piece now to lift out. So I'm only a couple of stages off of putting the paper on and leaving it to dry. So again, it's probably going